Top 10 Essay Topics About the Vietnam War. Vietnam War, the Causes. You can discuss several factors in this essay, from the spread of communism to the desire for Vietnamese independence. You could look at the role of key players, such as the United States and the Soviet Union, and their competing interests in the region. Be sure to emphasize the complexity of the causes and the multiple perspectives involved in understanding the Vietnam War. U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. This essay can explore the reasons behind the U.S. decision to intervene in this conflict, including the containment policy, the fear of the domino theory, Cold War tensions, etc. You could also examine the military strategies employed by America, as well as the social and political implications of their involvement. Vietnam War, the key participants. In a paper with this title, you can write about the respective roles and motivations of the key players in this conflict. Talk about countries like North and South Vietnam, the United States, China, the Soviet Union, etc. You might also want to discuss the perspectives of the soldiers and civilians involved. The consequences of the conflict in Vietnam. The human cost of the war, such as the number of casualties, displacement, and the long-term physical and psychological impacts on individuals and communities, should be discussed in this essay. You could also examine the political ramifications, such as Saigon's fall and Vietnam's reunification. Gulf of Tonkin incident and its role in the Vietnam War. In 1964, U.S. forces claimed that North Vietnam had fired upon them. This caused President Lyndon B. Johnson to increase the military presence in Indochina. In your essay, discuss these events and their controversies and debates. What was the Gulf of Tonkin incident's impact on the public opinion of the war? Did the U.S. lose the Vietnam War? This critical essay analyzes the military, political, and strategic factors that contributed to the ultimate withdrawal of U.S. forces from Vietnam. Consider the long-term consequences and lessons learned from the war. Be sure to acknowledge the complexity of assessing victory or defeat in a conflict. War crimes in the conflict in Vietnam. When writing about this topic, you could tackle the incidents of the use of chemical agents like Agent Orange or the My Lai massacre as examples of war crimes and violations of international law. Think about the ethical, legal, and moral implications of these actions. What are the challenges of holding individuals accountable for war crimes? Vietnam War, the role of women. This essay can analyze women's various contributions and experiences during the conflict, both in Vietnam and among military personnel. Look at their roles as combatants, nurses, journalists, activists, and supporters on the home front. We suggest you critically examine the challenges and gender dynamics they faced. Weapons and technology in the Vietnam War. In this paper, you can describe the military equipment and tactics employed by both sides of the conflict, such as guerrilla warfare strategies or using napalm and other advanced weaponry. Evaluate the impact of these weapons, as well as their effectiveness and ethical implications. Vietnam War and its influence on popular culture. If you want to write your essay on this topic, you could discuss how the war became a significant theme in literature, music, film, and art. How did this conflict shape subsequent generations' collective memory and cultural identity? We recommend exploring the anti-war movement, films like Apocalypse Now and Platoon, and the portrayal of veterans' experiences.